We'll go next to Sue, who's wondering about this defensive end rotation. Zach Harrison's got the seniority. Will he be the first teamer? Of course, we've got the two studs as now sophomores. Will seniority play into who starts?
I got this. Jim Knowles, quoted after the game, said, "No one asked me about this, but just so you know, I don't care who starts." So I think you got your answer there. It doesn't matter who starts the game. It's who plays the most plays, and it's who makes the most plays, and it's who's in the game to play in the fourth quarter when the game is on the line. Remember those three things: who plays the most plays, who makes the most plays, and when the game is on the line, it's tied, you're down 3 or you're up 3 in the last 5 minutes, who's on the field? Who have the coaches put their most trust in to land the plane and bring it home? And that's when you'll have your answer over who the coaches truly think are the best players. That's why the play counts in a lot of these games, at least in half the games that are competitive, mean something. I think in a game like Toledo or Arkansas State, the play count really doesn't mean a whole lot because typically maybe some of your younger guys will get a few more plays than they normally would. But coming all the way around the bend, people were outraged when they saw Zach Harrison and Javonte Jean-Baptiste out there with the first team on Saturday, as well as Teron Vincent and Jerron Cage. You had, I think, what would that be? 4 seniors, I guess, starting across there on the defensive line, and people, were jumping off the Lane Avenue Bridge. And when JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer got in the game, boy, did the tempo change. The temperature got ratcheted up a notch or two. So that's what you want to see is those young guys are hungry. They're pushing the older guys, and they will play. They will play. There are no sacred cows. Starting a game, Larry Johnson is historic for this. I think he tells his guys on Monday or Tuesday, whoever works the hardest this week will start on Saturday. And it's been crazy some weeks to see some of the randoms that he has started a game with on the defensive line. Guys who are like, this guy hasn't made a play in a month, but he must have gone out there during the course of the week and just lit it up. And Larry Johnson said, this guy's starting this week. So, all this, everyone's worried about the 2 deep and the starting lineup and this, that, the other. Just remember the 3 things I said at the top of this rant. The guys who play the most plays, the guys who make the most plays, and the guys who are in the game when you're up 3 or down 3 with 5 minutes to go. Those are the only 3 things that matter.
Yeah, just quickly. So often we think starter and first team are synonymous, and that they really aren't. I mean, it just who's out there for the first play doesn't matter. The way we see wholesale changes in terms of personnel and subbing on almost every play, it's not like you're bringing guys. This isn't like the old days of football where you played both ways and you weren't coming off the field because of the way that substitution rules are. I mean, you could see changes and then you could see more changes before the play is even snapped. I mean, so don't get too caught up in the designation of starter because that really doesn't mean much. And Steve is absolutely right that, I think then you can go in and look at snap counts and then maybe get a little bit of fool's gold there too, because things sometimes can be situational. Obviously a game that gets out of hand, you're just not going to burn some of your guys out too much. You're gonna empty your bench and get a lot of guys some opportunities out there. So you just have to really kind of look at what the performance is and kind of extrapolate from that more so than looking at who has the biggest number after their name on snap counts or who's out there on an arbitrary first play of the game.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just what they want to do with the defense that first series, like it is when they open up offense with 2 tight ends, meaning like one of Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, or Jackson Smith-Njigba are sitting. It's just what they want to do at the outset and the guys that they have that do it best. And I always use the Nick Bosa example. He was a sophomore All-American at Ohio State, and he started 7 games as a sophomore. But he obviously played as much as anybody, and it's not about, like, Ohio State has 4 or 5 starting defensive ends. We'll see by the end of the year what it is, and 4 starting defensive tackles that may grow to 11 to 5 or 6 or whatever. It's just a group, and you rotate them in, and you go from there, and you hope you have more than you can use. Now, I do, as Sue was mentioning, just the seniority of starting, like, maybe it's one of those things as well where, we saw at Rutgers, we saw Javonte Jean-Baptiste and Tyler Friday get starters because they're New Jersey guys. And so maybe sometimes there are some nods there to just that 1 week thing. But then again, you start and then you only play 18 plays. It's pretty obvious who the best players are. And it's really difficult to watch JT Tuimoloau and Zach Harrison and Jack Sawyer play on the same field that Zach Harrison and Javonte Jean-Baptiste are, and you see which of them gets to the quarterback, even in a spring scrimmage type of thing, and which don't. And I keep saying, I think these young guys are really, really pushing the seniors, and the seniors better be careful.
I think back to watching that Georgia defense last season, and they had the one letdown in the SEC championship game, and they made amends for it. But otherwise, they were just unlike anything we've seen in 10 or 15 years. And right out of the gate against Clemson, and then against a really good Arkansas offense that scored 51 points the next week against Ole Miss and finished in the top 15 in the country, that they were just consistently just living in the other side of the backfield, and they just direct plays. They just didn't even allow offenses to run plays. They were just throwing guards in the laps of the running backs. And if this defensive front for Ohio State can play to its potential, they could just wreck offenses, and it could be something to behold if they come close to their potential.